Okay, it is 6 o'clock. I will call to order the Plainfield Charter Township Board meeting for August 11th, 2025. We'll begin our meeting with the invocation and pledge led by Kathy.
Pray with me. Father God, we come to you grateful for this township and the blessings that are so abundant within it. We thank you for your grace, for your tolerance of us in all of the ways that we behave sometimes that is disrespectful and not caring for our neighbor. Father, I pray that your grace would fill this room and that we could have conversation that is civil, that accomplishes things, and that we might be neighbors and friends. Bless us with wisdom as we make decisions, as we go forward and do the best that we can for this township. And thank you that there are people in the audience today who are concerned and care, and we welcome them, and I know that we as a community can come together and resolve and work on our problems together. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kathy. Our next item is public comments. I'll go over the rules for public comments, talk a little bit about that, and then off we go. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. You'll see there's a clock on the screen to help you manage your time. If you do run out of time, I'll be kind enough to let you know that. No individual may speak more than once. Public comments are not a question and answer period. Please be respectful of others. No abusive, obscene, or irrelevant comments will be allowed. So if you'd wish to make a comment, please remain seated, raise your hand, I'll call on you. You gotta go up to the podium there, state your name and address for our record, and then the clock will begin. So with that being said, I'll just go one more item. If you're here for a specific item, there will be comment time when we get to that item under the public hearings, okay? So, anybody want to go right now? You're up first. Jack's going to make sure the microphone's on. Thank you, Jack.
Okay. So I'm Deb Havens, 2449 Omega Drive, Northeast, and I'm also president of the Plainfield Grand Rogue Historical Society. So I'm here tonight because our Historical Society is formed a committee, a subcommittee, to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our nation next year. And our committee consists of Mary Harris, who is my colleague here with me tonight, Ron Yob, who is chair of the Grand River Bands of Ottawa Indians, and Jerry Knapp, who is a museum exhibit designer and owns Spaces to Experience, which will provide an in-kind donation. So we're planning 2 projects that will depend on a $5,000 grant from the America 250 Michigan Committee, and that initiative will basically cover the costs of our exhibit. The first of which is a traveling exhibit that will present an interactive experience with Plainfield Village and the village of Odawa Indians that flourished where Blythefield Country Club is right now. The second is an encampment on the Heiser Museum grounds that will showcase Revolutionary War soldiers. So on behalf of the Historical Society and our subcommittee, Mary and I are here to present you a resolution that will support our plans for a local celebration and includes a formal acknowledgement of America's 250th anniversary that will be forwarded to America 250 Michigan Committee. So we'd appreciate your consideration of our resolution and acceptance, which will be very helpful in our grant application process. So Mary has copies of the resolution to pass out to you. Jack, if you wouldn't mind, if you could just take one and pass them down. And of course, we'd be delighted if you sign it like right now, but Tom, I know you very well. So if you could just review it, and then we'll probably get back to you in the next few days and ask for your thoughts on that, and appreciate your consideration at this moment. Okay, thank you. And Mary, you're up next.
I'd like to follow on Deb's comments here. Mary Harris, 4765 Rock Valley Drive, Northeast, Grand Rapids, Michigan, 49525. Hello, Board of Trustees and guests. While I have returned only 5 years ago to my roots here in the north end of Grand Rapids in Plainfield Charter Township, my brother Douglas Carnevale has lived here over 60 years. I've followed the history of my home through visits with him, a historian, and my siblings and their families over the years. Trustee Sue Morrow, 41 years ago, as the clerk of the township on June 24th, 1984, had been present at the Dr. William Heiser Rivers Museum dedication, a time in which the new location would carry forward the history of the Plainfield Village and its emergence. During this year of Reimagined Plainfield, the America 250 Michigan project coincides in turning a page in its history. The face of the Plainfield corridor will forever be changed. The Plainfield Grand Rogue Historical Society joins the many organizations in our state who will commemorate America 250 Michigan as we chronicle the evolution of our township's growth. And now we have the opportunity to pronounce its significance together with the many sesquicentennial celebrations around the state. With your acknowledgement of our resolution, you will be imprinted in the America 250 Michigan project. We hope you will join us in this auspicious occasion by signing our resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name is Tyler Davenport. Sorry, first time doing this. 2647 Rock Hill Drive, Northeast, 49525. I've been a resident at Plainfield Township for 11 years. I have 2 kids, 11 and 9. I'm going to highlight something I think everybody here is aware of. My 11 and 9-year-old are going to Highlands and North Oakview. We drive up and down the Plainfield corridor daily, with sports, practices, piano, visiting friends' house, going to Meyer, all the above. 2 weeks ago, my kids started pointing out graffiti tags as we drove out of the neighborhood. I had seen a couple of them, but we continued to see them at the library, the orthodontist office, on the way to their schools, their friends' houses, Flo's parking lot, Speedway, all up and down the corridor. Over the last 2 weeks, I've taken time out of my days, and I've seen over 215 spots from 4 Mile to Northland Drive. From the Jupiter Bridge, YMCA Day Camp, there's not a place in my community that I can go where I don't see it. It's not just a few random acts, 215 spots. It's a visible message to everybody that kind of passes through our community that says this is okay. It looks like a sign of neglect. It's definitely, I'm not here to chastise any of the businesses. Some of them are cleaning them up immediately, repeatedly, and sometimes not even reporting it. So it's not a singular problem. When it's this large, what I've discovered is it seems like a township problem with 115 businesses that are being affected. So I've also discovered that talking to the business owners that there seems to be a strained relationship between our board of trustees and our businesses. I'm a parent. Communication breakdowns often lead to people just taking hard stances and nothing happens. So what I'd like to see is our township leaders and our business owners maybe work together again to address the problem with some actionable efforts, even if it means rebuilding some of those burned bridges, guys. Let's find a way to involve some of our school districts. Our Northview community always comes together for the Wildcats. We can engage our youth to take some pride in our community where it's visible. I really feel like this is a simple request. There's not anybody I've talked to over the last week, and it's probably been over 100 people, that doesn't feel like a collaborative community effort would make an impact. So I look to our Board of Trustees, who I'm looking at really for the first time, guys, to kind of help lead us in this endeavor and bridge that gap. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Jane Dykema. I live at 3817 Keweenaw, which is on Dean Lake. I first want to congratulate Deb Havens, who has gotten North Plainfield Business Association, which is now Northeast Business Association, going again. We created that in 1988, and we always had Bev Reckney was at every meeting, Sue Morrow was at a lot of meetings. We had the superintendent of Northview Schools was at every meeting, and we want to encourage somebody to step up and come to those meetings again and have that partnership, because it was phenomenal, and we want it to be phenomenal again. We had Elizabeth come to the last meeting, which was the first lunch meeting that they've had in some time, and it was awesome. She talked about Reimagine Plainfield. And we do need to reimagine Plainfield without all this graffiti. It's really, really horrible. You can't, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And after talking to Tyler, I kind of drove around and went, oh my goodness, it's just horrible. I've been hit, almost every dumpster has the label on it. It's really, really, really bad. So hopefully stuff is happening with that. Also, on Reimagine Plainfield, I asked Elizabeth if there was gonna be irrigation. She said no. I said, so is anybody gonna come along and just water it? You know, like the fire department or somebody? And I don't think there's any plans for that. And after having a business on Plainfield for however many, 30-some years, it's just almost impossible to keep stuff looking good unless you water it. And the township has a really restrictive rule about irrigation and having these inspections, and so lots of businesses and owners have just not, they've just taken their irrigation out and they don't irrigate anymore. So it's all yellow. So that, and then the other thing I wanted to just point out is at the park at Dean Lake, it's being used widely. It's packed all the time, which I'm happy about. It's a great asset, but you guys have to up your game and figure out what we're gonna do to keep people safe. I don't want you to wait until something like happened at Versluis Park happens at Dean Lake Park. I know there's been a death at Dean Lake years and years ago that I don't even remember really, but I heard about it. But what happens is, you guys, a lot of you have been on Dean Lake, and if you weren't for any other reason, you were during the Dean Lake Cove project. It's an amoeba. It's like so oddly shaped. We have a lot of big boats, we have a lot of small boats, we have a lot of traffic, and somebody's gonna get hurt. It's not supposed to be a swimming park. People swim every single time. I mean, I never go by there that people aren't swimming. So there's just no caution signs. There's no, like, stay along the edge of the lake. Don't go and like sit on your paddleboard right in the narrows where pontoon boats come flying by with a tube behind it. So I just don't want anybody to get hurt. We need more collaboration with Dean Lake. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Spalding.
Art Spalding, 3301 Sunset Bluff. The township has a major undertaking which we have to spend a lot of money on every year, and that is the maintenance of our public roads in this township. I want to make sure that I thank the board for the work that's done in my neighborhood on Cuts Hill and Childsdale and Crows Streets. The improvements are significant. I also want to thank the board for the extraordinary expense of taking the hill down on Jericho, which has in the past had deaths associated with it. I have to caution, however, because there is on the agenda of the Planning Commission, or will be soon, an application for a new development on Crows Street for another 100 housing units. There's nothing particularly objectionable to this development, except that it will create another 1,000 trips a day by vehicle. And as you know, with FedEx and UPS and all these delivery services. I think probably the numbers have gone up in recent years rather than down as far as vehicle numbers are concerned. I'm understanding that the developer on Crows is in the process of creating another thick traffic study. We've had traffic studies. We've had multiple traffic studies. We know what the problems are. I know what that traffic study is going to conclude. We did put in a right turn lane on Cutshill at Rogue River Road, but that doesn't solve the problem of that intersection at least several hours a day when traffic is going in 3 or 4 different directions at that intersection. It's a dangerous intersection. I don't know what the traffic studies will show in terms of accidents there, but it sure is a difficult intersection to deal with. Even on Sunday morning when church is letting out, it's a tough time. So I want to thank the township, but I also want to ask the township board to look at also the hills on Childsdale, because there's a couple of hills that are particularly dangerous. And I'd be happy to communicate those with you, but I'd like to see those taken care of as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Brent Fields, 4440 Plainfield. The Lawn Ranger is our business. Just wanted to give a suggestion that maybe you guys might like the idea, but Alpine, they had the fire barn right there. It's not there anymore. They rebuilt, but I was passing by there. They used to have, when they came out, fire truck signs, and the lights would come on and they'd flash. And just that corner, I've just seen so many close ones, and I lost a dear friend, Paul, at the intersection maybe 6 years ago. It was raining, dump truck, all that stuff, but he died at that day. And but the fire trucks, they used to come out hotter, no pun intended, but they slow down now. And one thing what they do now that they didn't do, I think, is they turn their sirens on pretty much the minute they exit the garage instead of waiting until they get upon the corner for the most part. So that's a good thing. But except people kind of get surprised, and there's a little bit of, but if we had maybe when they hit the door, if a strobe light comes on with the fire truck warning out there at the road, that might save somebody's life. I just want to put that out there for a conversation for you guys to have on your own, but I don't know if you think it's a good idea or not, but that's what Alpine used to do, but I think that might save somebody's from getting hurt. So I've seen a lot of them, a lot of accidents, not necessarily from the fire truck, but that particular one day with Paul, I won't forget that. I didn't even know it was my friend. Couldn't tell. Airbags went off. He got a new truck. Didn't know it was him in the first place, and was trying to help the accident. But anyway, just wanted to put that out there, maybe about something with a warning system of some sort. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing no one else, I'll close the floor for public comments at this time, and we will move on to the review of our consent agenda. Before we do that, I have a change for all of you. Item B, we just need to change the date of October 27th to October 6th.
Oh, October.
October 6th. And that's the only change I have, so without any other comments, questions, concerns, I would seek a motion for the approval of our agenda, including the accounts payable and the consent agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda, including the revised consent agenda and the accounts payable.
Thank you, Jack. Support?
Support.
Thank you, Susan. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Ermica.
Yes.
Ms. Beatty.
Yes.
Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn.
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow.
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. And Mr. Pfaft.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item is to hold public hearing on the established streetlight, or to establish a streetlight special assessment district for Columbine Woods. Pete, is this you?
That is me.
Uh-oh. Oh, there you are.
All right, so we have three of these on the agenda tonight. So I'll go a quick overview of just the process, so I don't have to go through it on each one. But this is the fourth and final step of the process. You did resolutions 1, 2, and 3 at prior meetings. This is the second and final public hearing of the process. What you have here in the Columbine Woods development is a 4-unit site condo development with 1 streetlight in it. It's required by ordinance, even if it doesn't seem like it necessarily should be, it is a requirement. I won't go too deep into this one, it's pretty straightforward. I will say we did prepare a resolution if you're so inclined, a motion if you're so inclined to approve it, and I'll leave that one at this.
Okay, thank you, Pete. Anyone wish to make any public comments about the Columbine Woods issue? Okay, seeing no one, I'll close the floor for that, and we'll move on to board discussion. Frank, do you have anything?
I'm all set, thank you.
Kathy?
Nothing.
Susan?
I'm all set.
Steve?
Good.
Bob?
Okay.
Jack?
Likewise.
All right, so I would seek a motion for the approval of the streetlight assessment.
I'll make a motion. I make a motion that the township approve resolution number 4 to confirm and special assessment role, lien payment, and collection for Columbine Woods Streetlight Special Assessment District.
Thank you, Steve. Support?
Support.
I think I heard Kathy first, so roll call vote, please.
Ms. Beatty?
Yes.
Mr. Coleman?
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn?
Yes.
Mrs. Morrow?
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. Mr. Pfaft?
Yes.
Mr. Emminga?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Item C on our agenda is to establish streetlight special assessment district for Skyway Drive.
Mine too. So this one differs a bit from the other two that the one you've just heard and the one you'll hear later. This is a citizen-initiated petition where greater than 50% of the property owners signed a petition. In this case, you have 8 streetlights, I believe, and you have 7 of them at $11.37 per streetlight, and then one at 50-watt GU LED light at $12.06 in this case. So ultimately, 8 streetlights. We took that rate per month, and then we multiplied that times 12 months, and then so you have the number provided there in the staff report. In addition to that, there is a one-time assessment covering the cost of public hearing as well as the cost of installation quoted by Consumers Energy. That is an $835 cost from consumers. At this point, we are being grandfathered by consumers in this regard, meaning we're getting rates from last year essentially. If this goes later than September, from what I understand, we'll be doing increased rates, but for now, we can move forward with this rate. Staff has prepared a motion for you. If you are inclined to approve this, I do know that some residents are here to speak in regards to the special assessment costs as they refer to publication costs with Grand Rapids Press, as you're probably aware. That is all I have at the moment, but I am free for any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. Any public comment on this issue? Yes, ma'am. Yes, I'm sorry. Well, welcome. When you get there, you need to state your name and address for our record, and then the clock is yours.
Hi, Rebecca Holden, 5549 Skyway Drive, Comstock Park, 49321. I missed the last hearing, so I apologize. I was dropping my children off at camp. I actually oppose the streetlight thing. I live on Skyway where the lights want to be put in, and one of the poles which the streetlight would be put on is right in front of my house, right by my kids' bedrooms. I don't need it shining in their rooms. If you were to drive down our street after the sun goes down or in the middle of the night, you will see 3 out of 4 of the houses have garage lights on both sides of the garage, sometimes even the front porch on. The street, in my opinion, is already well lit. My children play outside all the time, well into the sunset. I don't feel like a street light is needed for safe walking, if that was one of the reasons why people wanted street lights. I walk at night. I know a few years ago, there was some thefts with cars that were unlocked, but they were not only on our street, they were also on other streets that did have streetlights. So that's not gonna deter anybody from going and getting into a car if the car door is unlocked. So I think that the street is lit enough with all of the numerous garage lights and front porch lights on it, and I cannot afford any additional costs. Property taxes keep going up because the value of the houses go up, and the millages for the libraries and the schools. I just got my latest tax bill and it was over $4,000. And I usually support our family because my husband does not retain a regular job, and I have my mother living with us, so we're a house of 5. And I just cannot afford any additional costs, even if it's $11 or $20 or $140. So I'm opposed to the streetlights. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir? Well, I get.
Larry Denkel, 5753 Skyway Drive. Publication costs for the public notice in the Grand Rapids Press. We've been over this before. Here is for the first notice. Okay, that's what was published. $4,133 for this meeting. Okay, and there's a second one. $873. Okay, so if both of them would have been this size, the total would have been $1,700 and some dollars. The total as it stands now with both of these is $5,006. Difference of about $3,240 that we're being tagged for. Now, if both of them been like this, you know, so we see that, a lot of us residents see this as we're being forced to pay the $3,260 error that the township made. Let's see, what else we got here? You know, wouldn't a reasonable person look at this and think that the township made a $3,260 error? Wouldn't a reasonable person think the township should pay the $3,260? Wouldn't a reasonable person wonder why the homeowners have to pay for the township's mistake? Is the $3,260 too much of a financial burden for the township? Can't believe it. Gotta believe there's some money out there somewhere. For the record, of the 30-some property owners, 24 are in favor, 6 are against. The rest didn't respond, or what they favor is unknown. Regardless of how you look at it, a majority of the people on the street want streetlights. How much time I got? A minute. In early May, I emailed the township asking, were there any additional costs besides the consumers? And the response was no additional costs. Late July or mid-July, we got this figure of $5,006 for the publishing cost. Big surprise, you know, where the heck's that come from? How come we didn't know that up front? A similar streetlight project was undertaken down on Sky Hills Court, Sky Hills Drive, just down the street from us back in 2021. On their petition, it specifically said you'll be responsible for public hearing costs. There was none of that on our petition that I got from the township in January when I started this. Time.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Rick Outstra, 5708 Skyway Drive. When a resident went through and did the counting to see who was for or against streetlights. No cost that I'm aware of was brought up at that point. Just a general question, would you like streetlights, yes or no? So besides the cost, personally, for me, it's just, I'd prefer not to have them, but when the count is 24 residents want streetlights, I believe that count is before any costs were talked about or special assessments. So to be fair and upfront and transparent with everybody, I would just ask that now that we have a dollar amount per household, let's review all the households again and see how many are for streetlights and how many are against streetlights. I just like the facts to be known before someone, said yes to streetlights without knowing the cost. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir?
Hello, everyone. My name is Noah Syme. I'm a resident of 5491 Skyway Drive, and I spoke at the last meeting as a dissenting voice, and still am a dissenting voice against this resolution. Primarily more due to the concern of the light pollution, because we have a nice open sky, and we like to be able to see the sky for like stargazing and whatever else. And in fact, somebody here made the joke of Toyota Borealis being a result of a Toyota corporation and the light pollution produced from it near their house. But if the true vote now is 24 pro and out of the 32, I want to speak about light post number 8 being placed in the cul-de-sac, which is unique in that it is a singular lamp post. It's not attached to any what are those called? Energy poles. But anyways, it is supposed to have, it's a 50-watt bulb, and it's producing white light. Now, that's not consistent with the rest of the street lamps that already exist in the neighborhood, which produce yellow light. And I'm really kind of concerned about white light. It's harsher on the eyes, and aesthetically, it's just a bit uglier as well. And for the same cost, I looked at the Consumers Energy website and saw the types of street lamps that they can install, and they have a yellow light option. So that's a warmer light that would be more consistent with the rest of them. And so if we're able to switch to that, if this resolution is to pass, I would be very in favor of that. And I've talked to some of my neighbors, and they would be in favor, my cul-de-sac neighbors, and they would be in favor of that as well. I also wanted to mention that I was a bit shocked to find out that $4,133 had already been spent on publication, because to my impression from the last meeting, we were only supposed to, that was just kind of a public meeting. We were just meeting to find out about it. And now here I am coming to this meeting, finding out that $4,133 have already been spent. And that's quite a shock to me, seeing that this resolution hasn't even passed yet. So I know there's not really much that can happen with that, but it feels like we're just being told to just eat the cost of that, even though last meeting was just a public meeting. So I'm a bit disappointed in that, and that's really all I have to say. Thank you for your time, and I want to also commend Mr. Dinkle for all of his work with this. Even though I am a dissenting voice, I know how difficult this is, and he's been pretty thorough in a lot of his work. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing nobody else, I'll close the floor for the public comments on this, and we'll move on to board discussion. Jack, do you have anything?
I do have some things, but I want to give Pete the opportunity, if you would, Pete, to explain the process a little bit more, because there are some feeling on the part of some people that there has been an error made, and this is the first I heard about it.
So typically in the process, we submit for public hearing we submit to public hearing, we send out a notice. So for these, we consulted with the township attorney, in this case, and had them give us the specifications of what we needed to do. In this instance, because we don't have a normal boundary, it's a created boundary by the petitioners. In this case, they required us to provide a map and the parcel numbers for the properties and also optional addresses. So to cover all our bases, we included that. That cost came out, they don't give us a quote up front with these. That cost came out much higher than is obvious. So we were shocked at the cost too. So we went back to the township attorney and looked at a different way to do these things to reduce the cost. That's why you have the discrepancy in the cost in the two. That's why we got where we're at on this. I think that summarizes it generally, but if you have any
Thank
more
you.
questions, let me know.
Thank you.
Jack, I would like to add that we've not added the attorney's cost or staff time cost to this special assessment. So the township has eaten that cost.
Yeah, that's fine. I appreciate your saying that. I was, during the last meeting, I was very upset with the Grand Rapids Press and the amount of money that they charge for this. Wondered whether there is any other option, like Rockford Squire or even publicizing it on the internet. We did consult with the attorney on that, and state law says no, there are certain scenarios that you must follow, and the only scenario locally is the Grand Rapids Press. That's by way of the state law. I personally would like all of us to talk to the state representative because I don't agree with the law that says you have to publish in the Grand Rapids Press. I think I agree with you all in terms of the amount of money it takes. It's just ridiculous. So that's the first thing. There was some talk about the township footing the bill on at least part of this or some of it. And we have many, many of these come through every year. And it would be a dangerous precedent to have the township foot the bill on this because basically we're using taxpayer money to pay for a certain segment of the population as opposed to everybody. You know, when we have something in the township like the senior center or something, people are free to go to that. But if we decide, well, no, we're taking this small segment of the population and we're going to pay your tax money for that. I know that you've contributed your tax money for that, but there are a whole lot of other people that have also contributed their tax money toward this, and that wouldn't be fair. I don't know, there may be some other things I haven't covered, but I'll yield the floor.
Thank you, Jack. Bob?
I'm with Jack on this. It's a buggy whip law. It really is. And I talked to Cameron about it, and Cameron so kindly provided all of the Michigan compiled laws, because this isn't just one. It's several Michigan compiled laws about having to post this in a newspaper. And I'm sure before that, they wanted the town crier to post it on down on Belmont Road for all I know. But I am in contact with, I'm on a committee. I'm not an official committee member, but I'm on a committee in Lansing with 5 of our state representatives. And I was on the phone with one the other day about this, and he said, I'd really like to look into it, because I said it just doesn't affect Plainfield Township. If you have 83 counties and you have how many townships, and you start thinking, oh my gosh, every time they publish something, it's just you know, and people are very sensitive what this young lady's saying about just spending money willy-nilly, because I run into that when people come to me in the store. They said, "Man, I can't afford it anymore." I said, "I don't blame you," but I agree it's a buggy whip law, and I'll do what I can to see what I can do on the state level, because I'm sure it'd be unanimous regardless of political affiliation that they would do something about it. But I don't know when, because they're politicians.
Thank you, Bob. Steve?
I agree both with Jack and Bob here, and I don't have much more to elaborate on, so I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Frank?
My question is, I was wondering how many residents total, and is it done by residents or is it done by the houses? And if it's brought forward by the residents, we're required then, right? If it's a majority saying this is what we want, we're required to adhere to that, correct? I don't know who to ask, but.
So yeah, that's kind of a tough scenario. There's a petition by the number of, and Pete, maybe you have it off the top of your head, how many parcels are
I
included?
believe it's 18 out of 34.
But there's 34 included parcels.
Yep.
So
Well,
to
it's-
Frank's first question, there's 34 parcels. And so, yeah, under state law, residents can bring forward a petition
Sure.
for this type of improvement. You know, I've not run into a situation where a majority bring forward a petition and the local body of government would turn it down without a particular reason to turn it down. So I can't speak to whether there is a good legal basis for the township to turn it down without speculation as to maybe there was a misunderstanding or something like that. So I think to your point, if a majority of residents have asked for this, I don't know that you're in good stance to turn that down, unless some new information were to develop that were substantial enough.
And we're saying that 18 out of the 34 want the streetlights.
That's what the petition, yes.
Was it? It was,
No, that's what was mentioned by
was
Larry, how
34?
many he pulled, but the signatures on the petition were 18
out of 34?
out of 34.
So we're just over half.
Yep.
Yeah. So, let me just see. I wrote down, let's see. Okay, I think that's it right now.
Okay, thanks, Frank. Kathy?
I think all the discussion and all my questions have been answered. Thank you.
Okay, Susan?
I had an experience once with the Grand Rapids Press, and they were very firmly planted in their position and felt that I lived in Kent County and this is their rule. And so I didn't like it then, I don't like it now, and there's very little we can do about it.
Okay, I agree. I think all of you have pretty much covered it. Jack, you got something additional?
Yeah, there was a mention last time that whoever did the petitions stopped at 18 and did not ask for the opinion of anybody else once he got a majority. So the fact that you have 18 out of 34 doesn't mean that at that time only 18 said yes. On the other hand, they didn't know what it would cost. And unfortunately, one of the persons that came up said, well, opposed it and wished we wouldn't do it. And unfortunately, the money's already been spent. So it's pretty difficult for us to say no at this point. So.
Okay, anything else? I already said everybody kind of covered what I was thinking and talked about, so. So if there's no further discussion, I would seek a motion at this time for the approval of the Resolution 4.
Nobody wants to do it, but I will. I make a motion that the Township Board approve Resolution Number 4 to confirm the special assessment role, lien, payment, and collection for the Skyway Drive Streetlight Special Assessment District.
Support.
Thank you, Kathy. Support from Susan. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Coleman,
Yes.
Mr. Hagedorn,
Yes.
Morrow, Mr. McKellar, yes, Mr. Pfaff,
Yes.
Mr. Reminga,
Yes.
Ms. Beatty.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next item on the agenda is to establish streetlight special assessment district for the ravines at Inwood, Plat 4. Pete?
All right, this one's at the same step in the process. This is for a 38 lot plat with 8 streetlights. The cost is essentially $96.48 per annually per streetlight, or $1,157 per year, which equates to about $30.50 per parcel. In this case, we've had resolutions 1, 2, and 3, and this is resolution 4 confirming the role. And again, staff has prepared a sample motion if you're so inclined to approve. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay, thank you. I'll open the floor at this time for any public comment on the Inwood plat number 4. Okay, seeing none, I'll close the floor. We'll move on to board discussion. Susan?
All set, thank you.
Kathy?
I'm good, thank you.
Frank?
All set.
Steve?
I'm good.
Bob?
All set.
Jack?
Likewise.
All right, so I would seek a motion at this time for resolution number 4 for Inwood plat number 4.
I move that the Township Board approve Resolution Number 4 to confirm the special assessment role, lien payment, and collection for the ravines at Inwood, Plat Number 4, Streetlight Special Assessment District.
Support.
All right. Thank you, Frank. Support from Susan. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hagedorn. Yes. Mrs. Morrow.
Yes.
Mr. McKellar, yes. Mr. Pfaff.
Yes.
Mr. Remminga.
Yes.
Ms. Beatty.
Yes.
Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. I want everybody to make a note here. Under new business, we have none. So we will move right on to Cameron's comments,
Took us 46 minutes to get to the no new business, huh?
I guess.
So a few items I want to address from tonight's meeting. Special assessment process. So as you saw through 3 different special assessments for streetlights, years ago, and I don't know exactly how many years ago, we changed our process to require new developments to put them in at the front end, which, as you saw, 2 out of 3 is a very, very smooth process. Actually, it leads to lower cost because of the way it's done through that process too. And so I commend staff back well before my time of streamlining that process, planning commission, board, putting in a requirement to handle it ahead of time, because retrofitting anything in any neighborhood is always tricky, right? And that's what we saw tonight. It's unfortunate that they didn't have a good understanding of what costs were involved, and so staff has started working on revamping a special assessment process and requiring an escrow on the front end so that these residents can understand, if you are serious about this, you will have to plunk down a couple $1,000s to start covering those costs so that they know that there's real money involved. It's unfortunate that I don't know what was communicated to certain residents, but the fact that there would be zero cost is just not a legitimate thought, that there's always a cost to this, even if the publishing cost was exorbitant, very much so, and it made all of us just have our jaws drop how much Grand Rapids Press is charging now for a paper no one reads. But it is still a law that we have to abide by, and we have to do that, even though everyone gets a hard copy mailed to them, to their home, we still have to put it in the newspaper so that, just if someone was away from home but gets the newspaper or something, I don't know what the legitimate reason for that is, but that's still law. I did have an opportunity to talk to our state senator about it last week, and kind of shrugged his shoulders and said we tried. And I don't know that they tried real hard, but that's not an issue that, to Bob's point, I don't think that's a high priority item for anyone in Lansing right now. But yeah, if enough people bug them, maybe. So, but we are looking to revamp the special assessment process to make it more clear up front that there are significant costs involved with going through the process. When we do private roads, generally the cost of publication and all of that pales in comparison to the cost of actually, laying the new asphalt or whatever that road improvement is. So it really gets masked by how much total cost there is. But streetlights are a completely different type of special assessment, and so the upfront costs can really be a lot more exposed that way. So we're working through that. When we have something prepared, we'll bring it back to the board to look at as a new revamped process to hopefully head off some of this consternation next time and help residents understand what exactly they're asking for. I want to address another. Everyone leaves after they make their comments, so I don't get to hear the response. But there was a comment about warnings outside of a fire station. We're already doing that. So, board, you recall, part of the Reimagine Plainfield project is the installation of the Opticom software. So our fire department and of course, and other departments that have this software will have transponders that will trigger not a separate warning, because I don't think MDOT would ever allow that. And I don't know that that would actually enhance safety anyway. I think that'd probably just cause more confusion, but it will trigger the stoplights. And so unfortunately, I know exactly the accident that he was referring to. I've seen the video. It was very, very unfortunate, and it would have been prevented by this software. This software will turn it to a red light, and so instead of people responding to sirens and doing what they're supposed to and stopping, but not everyone stopping, which is exactly what happened, the traffic light will trigger, and so people will follow that traffic light and will have green light or red light, whatever it may be. So that should be in place by sometime this fall. I don't have a specific deadline for that, but November-ish, it'll be in place. So that's already in the works, and it's something that we were talking about a couple years ago already. Couple other items. So tonight we had on the consent agenda, we had a lot of software updates. We're working through a series of changes. So without belaboring it too long, a number of years ago, we used a whole variety of software packages, and so most people probably are unaware of how much software goes into running an organization like this. You have your typical Microsoft products, so Microsoft Word and Excel and PowerPoint and all that good stuff. But then there's specialized software that most businesses use for accounting, and in the government sector, you need something that does governmental accounting. And so the big player in Michigan is a company called BS&A, and they do different programs from assessing to accounting to coming up with your tax bills, and they can do a lot more. Well, they're also have recently been bought out, and the new owners want to see a little more money out of the products, and so prices are going up, and they're pushing us, just like all software packages are pushing us to a cloud-based platform as opposed to one that sits on a machine in the room on the other side of this wall. And so to build that out, they had to put some money in, and now they're trying to recoup it through the fees. So we're holding out on that as long as possible. And part of doing that is a couple of the packages that you approved earlier tonight. There's good products out there that are not government specific, because all businesses do payroll. All businesses do human resources tracking type of software. And so those things are good packages that we can look outside the governmental sector for alternatives. And so we've done that, and that's why those are in front of you tonight. There's a couple of things that are specific to government, specifically local government. And you drill it down even further, our assessing laws in Michigan are different from Indiana, different from Ohio, different from every other state. So you get very specific software. So things like assessing and some of that tax software, it's going to be hard for us to move away from PSNA. And so eventually, yes, we probably will have to accept their fees and move to the cloud when our current software is no longer supported. We'll have to make that move. But we're pushing it out as far as we can to keep that cost limited, because we got to balance our budgets, which leads me to my next item. We've got our budget workshops coming up. So we're finalizing our numbers for the general fund, and that's what we're going to go over first at our next meeting on August 25. And so that's going to be heavy with a lot of employment costs, our firefighters and other staff that are funded through the general fund, and other general fund related costs. And then we'll get back together on October 6th. Make sure you guys got your calendars marked for that. October 6th, we'll hit the rest of the budget. That's where we handle the other funds, the special funds, and the funds we call the enterprise funds. So water and sewer funds are, from a governmental accounting standpoint, are handled differently than the general fund, and so we'll address those. And then the fun part is always the capital improvement projects, right? What are the big ticket items that we're going to buy for next year? Is it going to be a fire truck? Is it going to be a playground set? What are the big ticket items? And so we'll go over the capital improvement budget. That will be on October 6th. And then we're sliding another workshop in between those two on September 22, and we're going to talk about our utility rates. And so we've been talking a little bit about the need to adjust some of our rates, look at tiered rate system, going to monthly billing. And so we're going to put all that together for you in a workshop, and roll out some of the concepts that we're looking at in terms of what that tiered rate structure might look like, how that would be implemented, and we'll do that in a workshop format so we can have some good dialogue around what that looks like and what that might mean. My last item is, it was a busy weekend around here. We had some big events from one side of the township to the other. It's kind of our summer bookends, right? We've got the LPGA Tour to kind of kick off the summer, and then, dare I say, end the summer. I might get some evil glares if I say that, but towards the tail end of the summer, kids will be going back to school not before too long. We've got the Michigan Titanium, which was yesterday at Versluis, and then Mill Creek Days, which was this weekend as well. So outside of some really, really warm temperatures, as far as I've heard, everything went really well, and it's a great chance to showcase our township. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to board comments. I'm going to go first here just a second because I wanted to address the graffiti issue that was spoken of earlier. I don't even know if that person's still here. I know the sheriff's office is working diligently and very hard to track that person down or persons and resolve that issue. The township doesn't have law enforcement authority or power. Comes to us via the Kent County Sheriff's Office. So, to ask the board to do something about that, we work with our law enforcement partners and have been since the graffiti just first started appearing. So they've been on that. I don't want anybody to leave here thinking that we're not concerned about the graffiti. Trust me, those folks are working hard. So, sorry for doing, I think that might have been the only other topic that didn't get covered there with some of the public comment. Jack, you have anything?
Yes, as you all know, I will not be at the budget workshop. I'll be in New York with my son. However, I'm sitting down next Monday with Adam. He's going to go over the budget with me, so you can expect significant changes after that.
Have fun.
Have fun in New York.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Bob, do you have anything?
Cameron had mentioned did you talk to Mark Heisinger? Yeah, good man. You're more effective, and this is something I'm going to explore because I have a friend of mine that writes a lot of legislation. He's like kind of the ghost in the machine, and the state representatives really respect him. I'm going to talk to him to see if he could write a bill that would pertain to this because he's that good. He's that good at what he does. So I'm going to talk to him, buy him breakfast. That's all I got to do. And I don't think it would be a long bill, but it'd be something that you could get in front of these representatives. Because I know when I'm there, they're overwhelmed. They really are. The good ones are. The ones that aren't so good aren't so overwhelmed. But I'll check into it and see what I can do.
Super, thank you. Steve?
I'm good.
All right. Susan?
I had the privilege of participating in the Mill Creek Days again this year, and I have wonderful news for you and the rest of the community of Plainfield Township. And their generosity in supporting the fundraising was our beer tent. What a wonderful weekend to have a beer tent. And the donations totaled $10,000. And that money is going to Food Hugs. And that was a push all the way along. A whole bunch of other things happened down there that pulled the community together. There were 400 people for a pancake breakfast. 350 people ran. Some of them ran the 5K and some ran the 10K. And then instead of last year when there were about 12 children, this year there were 60 children who came to run around the outside of the park. And there were so many that they actually put them in different groups and sent them through 3 different groups. Last year we had about 36 craft booths that actually showed up, and this year we had 44 craft booths. The crafters make a donation of slightly used or new children's shoes as their admission fee for having a booth. And some people use it as a chance to clean out their closets. And I can't even tell you how many pairs of shoes were donated. Amazing. The parade is on Saturday. It starts at noon over at the ballpark. And then it progresses down West River Drive. And then it stops at the bridge. And at that point, all of us can be very proud. Ben Green, who started his government career here as a trustee and is now chairperson of the Kent County Commissioners, has an unbelievable, gorgeous voice. And he moves to the center of the street and sings the national anthem a cappella. And the community they're all with him. It's very, very exciting. This whole thing is put on under the auspices of the DDA, the Downtown Development Authority. The committees, the people who handled the runners, the pancakes, the craft booths, we are not members of DDA. DDA sponsored the whole thing. And their efforts to bring the community together were absolutely outstanding. Their meetings in preparation lasted for 6 months, and the attendance at the committee meetings were always valuable. It was worth our time and effort, and I sort of hope that our township board will send the DDA a very, very nice note thanking them for the work that they did and the contribution to the community. It was outstanding, outstanding. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you. Kathy?
I just think it was a good meeting. I appreciate the participation of those in the community who step forward and state their concerns. And I'm thankful that we have a balanced budget. The state still does not have their balanced budget, speaking of representatives. And as far as the law with Grand Rapids Press, I think that was 1984 that we're still dealing with. So hopefully we'll get that resolved.
You're up, Frank.
All set.
Okay. Susan, I will convey at our next DDA meeting your thoughts.
And I think it should be from all of us, right?
I could do that.
Okay.
What place did you finish? We have our own triathlon participant right up here with us. Come on.
In my group.
In your group.
In my group.
In your group.
I finished third.
Congratulations.
Killing it.
Congratulations.
Killing it.
And on that very happy note, we are adjourned.
Thank you. Yeah.